So I'm kind of right off top lane for the first 10 minutes of the game. It's just kind of be whatever it ends up being, and maybe Malphite will make a trick TP ult play.
One thing to note about it, though, is that Yorick cannot interrupt the teleport. He does not have an
You're
ability
right.
to interrupt
He does
it.
not have an effect. He could just, to be fair, he could just beat on Malphite. So when Malphite does show up, he's at like 40% health, and then even after the ult, he just doesn't have the sustainability to keep himself alive. That's a fair option. All right, game has started. Explain to me why at 6 seconds, blue team has 100 more gold. Oh, it's probably the talents.
Probably
the support talent. That's probably what it is.
If it's not the support talents, it's because blue side is favored. I mean, we all know this. It's so unfair. I mean, they have those double golems in the bot lane. OP, nerf, please.
Hey, back when bot could do the golems at level 1, that was pretty cool. That's when I learned how to play support, actually. Is when my ADC was teaching me how to do double golems. That was fun.
We've got the
what is it with all the purple teams with this aggressive? I guess it's just purple. You want to establish bot jungle dominance.
It almost looks like Broman Empire, I think. Yeah, Broman Empire is setting up for a lane swap. Broman Empire being the blue team.
And Resurrected being the purple team. So we see no sweeping trinkets on Broman Empire side.
None.
And I don't blame them. Let's look at somebody who might want to take sweeping trinket. Really just Thresh, to be honest. Olaf's going to want to protect his jungle, protect his farm. And with Ezreal, he's actually wanting to play more of a defensive game. He's going to want to keep Ezreal alive through the burst of Leona Draven.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Leona is going to be trying to sweep out anyway. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. It is interesting they went 5 sets of warding totem, though.
And, yeah, looking like a lane swap. That'll be the first one we've seen tonight.
Ether Wing. I need to buy that skin. How much is it? It's way too much, right?
Yeah, that's the big one for KO. But it looks so good.
Nice leash for blue, for Olaf. He's going to quickly clean up the jungle. See, Jarvan is already a good 10, 15 seconds behind at this point. We could see a really early gank attempt from... Oh, and there's the lane slop in action. Now, Thresh has like a really good single hit auto attack due to Flay's passive. So really there's nothing better for like single shotting the ghouls, in my opinion. It's really just a great option because you can sit around, wait for him to use a ghoul, and the second he uses a ghoul, you'll just kill it in one auto attack.
Well, and what you see is that
Thresh playing very aggressively, zoning Yorick off of...
He's got some really good zone against Yorick, and Yorick is probably really going to struggle trying to push this back as he runs out of mana.
I suppose the big question here is which duo is going to take their tower first?
Oof, good damage on Malphite.
I'm going to have to say I see... no, I actually say I see Draven taking their tower first. Because Yorick is just his defensive playstyle is going to keep them back way longer than Malphite walking around in circles is. We actually see, like, we thought, oh man, he probably ate a charm into like more Qs than he could afford. Oh, forced to use Reckoning to last hit. At that point, very rough. We actually have Jarvan rotating top, probably going to duel for a bit in lane. He does have double buffs, but I don't think they're going to be able to see a lot of kill at this point.
That's really what it's going to come down to for the turrets, is how the junglers respond. Right now you have...
We've got Olaf rotating mid, trying to help out his dying Kayle. Well, actually, Kayle, has a good amount of sustainability, especially... I guess she started Doran. Sometimes you see Kayle start with Flask for the extra sustainability.
Yep.
Both junglers sticking around their problem lanes, just kind of waiting for an opportunity to jump in.
Malphite is doing a pretty good job of just holding them back. Like, he hasn't been chunked down very hard.
He's zoning under the tower, or he's farming under the tower pretty well. But let's see. Whereas, Leona, Olaf does come in, but doesn't really manage to get a solid engage. Actually, he opened himself up to vulnerabilities more than anything after getting hit by the Zenith Blade Daybreak Shield combo. Just even like 1 or 2 empowered auto attacks from Draven, it changes a jungler gank into a jungler, please help me, I'm going to die. Jarvan sticking around, really playing patient with this Kaos, totally camping out.
I'm not sure about that because the way the lane is pushed.
Yeah, he's going to fall behind Olaf, and falling behind Olaf is a problem. You cannot fall behind Olaf. Oh, moving into lane and backing up. It might be that he was like more making his presence known and discouraging Olaf from reversing the lane's momentum.
Just making sure that Roman Empire knows that he's not just going to go top.
So with Flask nearly empty, Yorick is now out of ghouls. His undying wall of flesh will no longer reanimate itself to defend him or his tower. Speaking of towers, yeah, it looks like Draven got a definite lead. The bot tower is almost at 50. It's beyond 50% at this point.
That
They're
bot
gonna
tower
easily take it. Yorick just doing a great job of staying alive. I mean, he's got a fair amount of CS considering that he's operating under against a duo.
He's even with Malphite, which is good.
It's good. Yeah. So he's doing what he needs to do, considering that he's maintaining even CS, but he's not letting his tower die.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in mid, we've got Ahri actually falling behind Kayle. Not too surprising. Kale's early farm is really strong. Our whole game's farm is really strong with Reckoning. We should see Ahri coming in. She is level 6 now. She has Ignite and Flash up. It's possibly she could pick up a kill.
Ooh.
Flash is out of the charm, yeah.
Well, that was his arcane shift. Malphite teleports in.
Is this the teleport play that we talked about?
He has no mana for his ult.
He's just so dry after expending it all, keeping himself alive in bot lane. That was really a problem there.
And Olaf, during that, rotated bot lane to try and hold it off from the Draven.
It's just so
close.
Pause. Pause? Why pause? What's wrong?
Let's find out.
What's up, guys? Same one?
A summoner has disconnected.
So, we've just been informed by the player that the PC that we were previously experiencing freezing issues with in the lobby creation screen has once again frozen. The game is now successfully paused, so we're going to reboot that system. It looks like the proprietor of our event is actually looking to replace it with a different system as we jump back into game. There are multiple free setups, and there's a ton. There's like 30 computers around here that have League open right now. So there's a possibility we could just jump on a different one. Not too sure. So which team is that on? Do you know? Wait, that's Tungsten Turtles team.
Yeah.
That's blue.
Roman Empire.
Roman Empire. Yeah.
Roman Empire. Broloff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not as if the teams resource-wise are looking very close. We've got a really close gold disparity. You know, there's only 200 gold difference. Both teams do still have their towers up. To be fair, bot tower is effectively gone. It's got like 2 auto attacks left. It's gone.
I think when Malphite teleported, he was essentially giving up on it.
Right. He did call in Olaf to defend it, but I mean, come on.
It's Draven. Draven Leona. It's
looking at farm.
Ezreal and Draven are even.
The mids, Kayle is ahead. I mean, the CS definitely being a factor there. She's actually got 1,600 gold just to start off. So you could just go back and buy Chalice.
Or she could just go with a needlessly large rod if she just feels like she wants to hurt things.
That would I don't know. I'd go Chalice. I've always been taught by players with much more experience to me that your role as a mid is to, like, your first buy needs to be counter itemization. If they're an AD mid, you buy a Seeker's Armor Guard, and if they're an AP mid, you buy a Chalice. It's just, that's the way it is, unless you have a specific game plan, like you need DFG because you're playing Ahri or something.
I play with greedy people, so.
Oh, Majai's first buy.
Oh, yeah. Majai's on the support.
I play Yi mid, go Sword of the Occult every game. In terms of the offlaners, pretty much tied. York's got a couple CS up.
Most of those
Support.
came because
Yeah,
of
the game has really seen it hasn't seen a whole lot of. It's not been very eventful in the early game. You saw the lane swap in the first, the original lane distribution, but that was it. You know, we saw classic, safe counter duo defensive play in both of those lanes, and really not much has arisen from it besides this eventual 7-minute, 30-second kill on bot tower against blue. Both the mids are 6, so we could, and Malphite 6 as well. He does have TP up. Or sorry, he did pick TP. Unfortunately, he didn't have mana in that last engagement to kill Ahri.
If he'd had
the mana,
they'd have gotten a good grab. Probably would have picked up a kill.
Because he would have comboed it into death sentence.
Yeah.
And then, worst case scenario, as can always shift.
Yeah.
And pick up a kill there. It would have been a pretty.
Might have been messy.
Might have been messy, but it was the
They
capability was there to kill at least one of them. Meanwhile, in terms of mid, Ahri's got flash down. You see, it's actually just went on cooldown.
Right.
So, and Kayle still has everything, and the gold lead. So I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Kayle started slightly snowballing over Ahri. We're gonna see her trade harder and harder and harder. She's just gonna ult. The second she's like, "Oh, that's a charm I can't dodge. Time to ult." Or, I just came out of charm, I'm at 40% after your burst, I'm going to ult and kill you.
I'll be interested to see if she starts pushing harder, where with a Kayle, when she gets going good enough, what she can do is she can just...
Okay, we were just informed by the tournament organizer that we are coming back up online in just a couple moments here. Right. But real quick, when I finish that line of thought, this doesn't mean that Ahri doesn't have options, because Ahri has her ult, and the second she sees the Divine Shield go up, she can just teleport. She can bait it out. Fox dash away.
She can toss a charm out and try to bait
do nothing.
The ult, yeah. Just
but yeah, I think her best option is just to force the ult, dash out, and she's got 3 charges, so you can dash out, dash in, kill her after the ult's gone, and then dash back out and escape the follow-up counter gank by the jungler.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I forget how long the overall duration of the ult stacks are, but she has. Or wait, is that it?
We can just arrow over it.
Oh, you're right.
Up to within 10 seconds, so she has 30-second window.
Yeah.
With her ult.
She plenty of time. She can. No, that's plenty of time. Because I mean, Kayle's ult only lasts for what, like. Really, 2 seconds. Yeah. At level 1, 2 seconds. So, ult goes up, you dash out, goes back down, you dash back in.
Kayle's gonna have to be really careful just to
not get baited.
Yeah.
Ahri kind of operates in kind of similar to Fizz. Once she gets 6, she gains this mobility option, and it's good. It can be used to juke skill shots, or really reposition yourself and capitalize on heroes that don't have mobility options, like Kayle. Great example. Doesn't really have a hard escape option. She's got her ult, but doesn't get her away.
Yeah.
It's not Valkyrie. Doesn't shoot you across the map and say, "Hey, engagement, what are you doing over there?"
Ahri's one of the few who can actually nail down an Ezreal by chasing him.
Right, and that's why we see Kassadin banned.
Because he has flash on a 3-second cooldown.
Right, and for a near negligent mana cost, because by the time you use it the 3rd time, they're already dead. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I don't think Kassadin has any problem killing people.
I have no idea. Like, did you see the patch where they nerfed him?
Which one?
Where they buffed his early game and said, that's a nerf?
Didn't they buff the sword, the W?
They changed that,
E.
but they buffed his Q, the silence orb.
Oh.
They made it more effective in the early game, and it was
Like
crazy.
reduce its mana cost, or
I think that's what
increase its range?
reduced its mana cost. I
Its
think
damage?
they like reduced its damage a little bit.
Oh, but gave it a lower cooldown, so a higher uptime.
Yeah,
That's probably it.
Yeah,
That
that
sounds like
sounds-
something.
that sounds right.
Sounds common.
I'm not a fan, but I'm not in charge.
Hey, you know, Kassadin, he's got a strong champion design. And that's really something that people overlook. They say, hey, this character's OP. Let's cut all their damage values in half. And I'm like, that's not going to matter. It's really not. You can cut, like, let's say you take Lee Sin, okay? And you cut all of his damage values in half.
He'll build
Yes.
tanky.
Yes, Lee Sin will start doing very little damage. But he's still mobile. He still has this huge kit. He still has shielding options. He has the ability to reposition your opponent with his ultimate, which is extremely strong. He can teleport the wards. He's got great diving potential. He gets great as a damage soak. You just build tanky on him instead. And you see a lot of the same, you know, he's so versatile as a champion. And, you know, Kassadin, I mean, I know it's not popular, but you ever heard of Tank Kassadin?
I've seen
Like Tank Kassadin top lane? That's like a real thing. It's
Yeah.
kind of spooky. Oh, it looks like we were informed by a player that he's reconnecting after 10 minutes. But it looks like
Well,
we're back
10
in.
minutes to flip out a computer. That's not too terrible.
Seeing as Shandor like demolished that thing in under 5 seconds. He's like some kind of race car mechanic. Instantly done. GPU out, like waved his hand, and the thing reassembled itself under his magnetic grasp.
Yeah, it was quicker than the Kassadin getting a pentakill.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man. I actually play Kassadin.
Everyone plays Kassadin. If he's not banned, somebody on your team plays him.
I don't know. I'm an AP mid player, so yeah, I don't know how to play Kassadin.
It doesn't matter. He's a very forgiving champion.
To be fair, you get a lot of overly zealous Kassadin players.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm God! I'm God! And they take their underfarmed poor CS melee champion
Yeah.
and try to jump into 5-on-5 and get CC'd, and they just die.
All right.
All right, we're
looks like
back
here we
in, resuming the game. Let's go!
Exciting.
I'm excited. 10 minutes of tensious, anxious waiting. This final development.
Oh, Jarvan getting
Tons of
chunked.
damage from Kale there. And I'm curious if... Nah, he's not.
There
He's
goes
not.
that tower.
Nope. Draven taking tower quite cleanly. Yorick so bone dry mana pool wise. There's really nothing he has left.
And that's what it took. They drained him dry, and now they're getting damage on the tower.
Mhm. And even in this back phase, you know, they could push up this siege creep wave and the wave behind it and actually just take the tower. But it looks like Ari's moving into defense, so this could... They're really playing defensively in terms of their global objectives. They want to protect their towers.
It's an interesting choice because she left, well, Kale was backing in mid, but she left mid available for Kale to just shove it as hard as she wanted.
I suppose she would rather defend 40% of her tower's HP than pushing her lane and taking 10% of their tower's HP. There's tons of damage being dealt to Thresh. That's an easy, well, not easy, but that was a very decisive kill. Definitely very brave. You don't usually see somebody dive in 1v2 situations, but I think it's important to note that neither of them are level 6.
Yeah.
She's level, she had her ult up, and they don't. So that means she doesn't have to worry about the box, so she doesn't have to worry about trying to blink out of the box. They had no way of locking her down, because even if Death Sentence came out, she's just so mobile.
And like, Ezreal does not do the same level of damage as a lot
The
of ADs
amount
early.
of burst is in Ahri's favor
He
for
really
most stages of the
He
game.
really needs items.
Yeah, you need the Trinity Force on the Q and the Last Whisper to really start killing people.
Speaking of which, let's see what they bought.
Oh, true. Switch back. Oh, actually, looks like we have a dragon attempt by. That's Broman. Blue is Broman Empire.
That's Resurrected.
The Resurrected is purple. Okay.
And that's actually what they gave up with the lane swap, Broman Empire. By lane swapping, they moved their duo lane to the top, and
They gave up dragon
They
because
gave
now
up
they
dragon.
don't have the team presence down there. You're right. So that alone, if you include the kill, that actually pushes 1,000 gold advantage. Ooh.
falling low
York's
again.
York came back with a level advantage and some gold. Came
And
back with the tier mainly.
Back with tiers.
So now he's got as much mana as he could ever ask for to harass, just keep Thresh specifically even just out of that lane. Meanwhile, Kale is putting a ton of work against Ahri.
Stinger on the Kale, going for the Nashor's Tooth early.
She's really looking to kill somebody. Either that or just take advantage of Nashor's Tooth and Reckoning and Piper farm.
And
Just-
like you said earlier, Kale, when she went in on Ahri instantly ulted out just to get away. She was just like, I don't want none of this. I'm out of here, man.
Oh, we see Ahri actually purchasing Grail first.
Okay.
Okay, very fair choice, like we talked about earlier with the counter itemization. We saw, so she's probably gonna go for. I really like Grail as an addition to like. Oh, hold on. What do we got here? We got pings going out top. York doing a good job of weathering down the total HP pools of top lane. So now, you know, if Ahri rotated top, or it looks like Jarvan might be coming to the lane for a lane gank, they're within kill range.
Yeah.
Oh.
York's got his ult.
Jarvan's coming in, but he's not quite close enough. If he circles around, let's see. Let's go, Jarvan.
No. One thing that I like about the Grail.
Ooh.
It's getting landed.
Ooh.
you do
No,
that?
York's too far away to help. He should have chased with Jarvan.
Right.
We actually see a really invasive play by the bot lane here, just taking the double golems.
No.
And we've got all this counter warding, all this warding going on in the bot jungle. They're really establishing their dominance in that lane. York dropping pretty low, but he did. Oh, there's the flash. And by now his shift should be off cooldown. Ezreal, you know, as we talked about earlier, ADCs with escape options.
So squirrely.
Ooh. Always relevant.
Oh. I was saying earlier, I like the Grail on Ahri because with the mana regen on it, it gives her the opportunity to push back against the Kale really hard.
Well, I think it's also important that she was taking a majority of those out trades in Reckoning AP damage
Yeah.
and
Ooh, good charm landed.
the shot. Or Righteous Fury's AP damage.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Is it Righteous Fury? I think that's the World of Warcraft name.
I think it is Righteous Fury.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, alright. They're all the same paladin. Alright.
Got Thresh on the top side.
We have
Malphite
Malphite
on the
down
bottom.
here. I think that's what's keeping the purple team from hard engaging, actually. There's just the threat of Malphite. I mean, his ult, it's so quick. It's hard to dodge.
Yeah.
You can't, like, I think it's fair to say that it's unreasonable to ask a player to flash out of Malphite's ult. Especially because by the time he comes into your line of vision, like over a wall or something, you're like sitting at maybe like 5 to 8 frames until it stuns you. So it's not really realistic.
That's why every time that you see it,
Whoa, that happened
Jarvan
fast. Looks like.
Olaf goes down.
Whew. So from what I can glean from the remnants of that engagement, I can actually.
I think that Kale caught a charm because she is dead with her ult still up.
What also could have happened was Leona's ult is on cooldown. And that's a further ranged engage tool. So it could also be that she simply ulted Kale, which is a hard engage. Ahri ulted in, followed up with Charm. killed her in the CC sequence, Leona backed out after ulting and using her Zenith Blade combo. That's why she was so low. She also burned all. You can see the cooldowns and everything. She burned everything at the exact same time.
Yep.
Yorick actually pulling his weight up here in top lane.
Got the Glacial Shroud. He's,
you know, it's tough to stay, you know, keep a presence in a game, especially after a lane swap. You know, off laning is difficult. Your reverses 2 enemies. You are slightly ahead in terms of character power, but I mean the combined total of their damage output there's no competition. Really targeting Thresh more than anything. This is because he can't really.
I don't.
Ooh, here comes Ari. And the slow. That was a really good flay. Wow. Managed to clip both of them, but.
Oh, good ult from Draven.
Yeah.
That did so much damage.
Wow, he just shot that all the way across the map, or across the lane.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
Global ultimates are always fun. Always fun to have really like just stupidly long skill shot. You could be like, I am the sniper, and you shoot it 30 miles away and get a headshot.
Nothing feels better.
Yeah, like I don't know, for those of you who do partake in a bit of Dota, Windrunner, you know, stuff like that. Invoker.
You don't even have to go to Dota for that. You land an Ash arrow from across the map.
Yeah, you know, there's that. There's that.
Yeah, Yorick got really chunked there.
The bottom arrow. Let's see. We've actually got Malphite being on good ult by Leona. That's just going to be a lot. He's quick, though. I'll give him that. He is out of there. Ult's out. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one way to get out of a targeted situation.
Meanwhile, Kill got a kill on Jarvan.
This is bad for Ez. He should back up. Back up, back up, back up. Walking into a bush that Ari happens to be hiding in can't be the most opportune of plans. So we do have Purple Team with both, all sorts of wards in there. They didn't actually scan the wards. They scanned right under both the wards. They are aware of their presence.
They're close though, but they are going to pick up this dragon. So they picked up the dragon. Ooh, charm lands on Ezreal.
Let's see, Big Flesh had a lot of capability for damage there. He was looking for a clean pick, but
good hook.
What's the side of the hook? Already taking a massive amount of damage, but good as ult for the execute there. York is doing a really good job of just being that guy. Being the wall.
Being the Yorick.
He's being the wall. He's playing the character, and is tough to deal with.
He is playing Yorick.
He's playing Yorick. That's what he's
all
doing.
you really can say about it.
Meanwhile, you know, Kale has a huge CS lead, 32 CS.
She does a lot of damage.
She doesn't have the kills, so let's see what kind of. Ooh, almost a hook. And Draven turns around and take a pot shot at Olaf. Both teams really looking. You know, Mouth's ult is still on cooldown, so actually everything. Oh, Jarvan has Cataclysm, and Leona's ult is back up. Those see one of the things that's great about Leona is her ult does not have a long cooldown.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off. That's why it's not as big of a stun as a Mumu's. But the thing is, it's long and it's on a short cooldown, so it's up every time you want to kill somebody.
And really, applying Leona's passive does an amazing amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about. I mean, how much is? It's
a couple hundred.
How much is it?
Oh,
so 65 base
should max out somewhere
damage.
around 100.
Right. So, but even then, let's be fair. If we add 65 to Ari's auto attack, which does next to nothing, suddenly that becomes a mini nuke.
Yeah.
You know, it's similar. It's not as potent as Lux's passive, but it's still there. And the fact that she can apply it to multiple enemies at once quite easily.
Yep.
the difference in damage and team engagements really shows.
Ezreal has finished his Bloodthirster. That gives his Qs a
So
nice
we are
punch.
seeing. Whoa! And oh wow, he's got tons of backup too. He should be able to clean a kill, especially with Olaf here. The box, they really just spent everything on him.
Nice.
But they got it. Let's be fair. There's no, you can't waste an ultimate if you get the kill.
Well, and especially for Ezreal, as every
Right.
ability he lands on will lower the cooldown. So
This Draven Leona pair has really shown a lot of potency throughout the entire game. They've constantly applied pressure to bottom. They've never stopped. They never really left. Leona went and roamed a couple times, but you know, Draven's just been sitting here farming the whole game. Yeah, he's a 130 CS. He's finished his BS. And he's got the tower. He's chunking this tower. Well played.
purple team lost the top turret finally,
Kale taking blue.
or not? Where's Kale going? Oh, she saw Ari on the board.
We have quite a bit of wards in play in the top river, so
Olaf comes in.
good ult by Leona. Good ult followed by that Malphite.
There's that Malphite ult.
Olaf flashes over the wall. Ooh, follow
Malphite
flash.
wants it.
He's gonna have the Q.
Because Ari's
Okay.
coming down from mid.
Ooh, yeah, they're not gonna be able to fight Ari. Olaf might be able to put in a few good hits, but he's too low to weather the burst.
But here's the rest of their team.
Yeah, there it is. There they are. They pinged Dragon, but Dragon's actually. Or I think that was blue team that pinged Ari actually. Sorry.
Okay. You should pick up mid turret off there.
Meanwhile, Yorick is counter pushing top lane.
Oh. Good little
Kind
bit
of
wave
deep for
clear.
Jarvan. Oh, does Q out.
He also flashed, so that was a
Yeah.
flash.
And it looks like they might be
Ari's
pulling
on the
back.
side trying to. She wants to land a charm. She's gonna. Ooh.
Flashes out of it. I've always wondered because, you know, there are times where you want to bait the flash before you throw out your charm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's not really much you can do in terms of baiting because they're just going to sit there and wait for you to do it, right?
Right.
They're not just going to wait for you to walk up and then blink randomly.
Well, for Ezreal, it's not too terrible because his arcane shift.
It's
is,
a relatively low cooldown.
It's also an animation. It's not a channel. So if she lands his charm while he's casting it, he's still gonna pop.
Yeah, it
flash
pops up on
away.
the other side, right?
He'll be charmed, but he'll be farther away. So
You know, at best, her option is maybe to ult in, to reposition herself, or something along those lines.
yeah. Olaf picking up his red.
Kale finishing Death Cap.
Ooh, she wants to hurt things.
That's a huge boost to our AP. And you know, as we were talking earlier, she grabbed that Nashor's Tooth to bring Righteous Fury into the farming table. And that's why she has 176 CS.
It really turns her into a monster at pushing.
I mean, when you can clear a entire wave in like 4 auto attacks, it says a lot.
Draven coming in.
Thresh does have quite a bit of defense,
But there's everyone here.
oh yeah, there's way too much damage.
Actually
Yorick.
saw Malphite cancel his teleport because he was teleporting to the ward in Tribush, but he saw just how many other people were there and went, I don't think I'm going to go in on that.
Leona's ult is still off cooldown. I thought she would have taken the opportunity to ult one of the retreating champions and pick up a kill there.
That was actually a really good disengage by the Broman Empire because they had their duo lane a little bit overcommitted. Push, ooh, good catch. And kill.
Excellent catch. There's also, I think, a better shot was probably the undertow by Olaf, tipping with the tip of the undertow, which allowed Thresh to catch up and hit with the hook.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, it was basically a 2-on-4, and they still managed to disengage, get them low, and then turn around, re-engage, and pick up the Ari kill.
Right. Well done.
I can English.
So, I think this is the first game where one team did not dominate Dragon Control.
And this
Every
is
time we've seen a team kill Dragon, they have never failed to kill Dragon every time.
This is our closest game so far at 22 minutes in.
Yes, it
There's
is.
a 3K lead for Broman Empire.
In terms of gold, but kills are tied up, towers are tied up. Very important. And see, the one thing I see making this game spiral out of control is... See, no, not even, because the huge kill lead that Ahri has is compensated for by the massive CS advantage by Kayle. So, I mean, relatively, they're operating within 300 gold of each other, even though their numbers are so skewed.
Well, it used to be the quick rule of thumb is that 30 CS is equal to a kill.
Right.
I don't, it might be different now.
Well, you know, there's always shutdowns
Yeah.
or kill streaks.
But
So-
as a general rule of thumb, it's a pretty good thing. So you see, Kayle is essentially even.
The offlaners are more or less tied, Yorick and Malphite. Junglers, Olaf is ahead, but Charm whiffs, but Leona does follow in, does miss the Daybreak Shield combo. Draven taking a huge amount of damage with Leona's ult following up. Just Purple Team is outputting a ton of damage, but it's not
that Yorick
quite
ult on
enough.
Draven.
Malphite coming at the very end of the engagement to handedly seal the fight with a clean ultimate on all 3 remaining champions of
4 for 1 trade.
of Purple Team. Well played by Broman Empire. That was really well done. See, the thing was, you saw all of their health bars started dropping really fast. But that was the thing. All of their health bars started dropping. It wasn't a focused, channeled attack. We didn't have as much concentration of offensive abilities. And as a result of that, you had 4 players escaping with 60% health, whereas people on the other team started dying one by one.
Yeah. And one thing that you saw is that Draven, they only had one Draven in that fight because Kayle instantly went on Draven and eliminated him first. He was Yorick ulted, but that just meant that there was still a Draven in the fight.
Right. We saw Draven die super fast, and I guess it was a combination of Ahri sort of overextending herself after whiffing her charm. It was just well played mechanic-wise for Broman Empire.
And then the
especially
Malphite at the
Malphite showing up at the end to close it out. There was a lot of comeback potential in terms of that engagement. But he really sealed the deal. Ezreal finishes Trinity for us. There's an important buy that could actually just completely push him into the ability to win engagements by himself, really. He's got Bloodthirster, he's got Trinity. Once he finishes Last Whisper, he's going to be quite the opponent. So we've got mostly even ward coverage as well. Usually when teams are tied, it's like one team is leading in one aspect of gameplay and the other team is leading on another aspect of gameplay. But you're seeing like tied CSs, tied golden comes, tied towers, relatively even kills. Although now it looks like Broman Empire is going to capitalize on their advantage that they seized in the last team engagement and really take it home.
Draven took a good
They're pushing
chunk of that.
all the way up into the inhibitor.
And he used his ult. I'm not quite sure what he was aiming for because he didn't get the minion wave with his ult.
Kayle just cutting like a butter through this inhibitor. Ahri coming in actually picks up a really good charm. Oh, but once again, just they're not... Resurrected is failing to really... Okay, no, never mind. I take that back. They killed Kayle. They almost killed Malphite, and they almost killed
with
Thresh.
her ult still
Right.
up. So
they are effectively...
And that Draven is just going to town.
Oh my gosh. Whoa! Nice Lantern saving the... Yeah, Draven is just great here.
That was fun to watch. It was like a
Oh my
blender.
axe. So yeah, I take that back. They are doing a great job focusing Kayle. Very important. They're obviously identified her as one of their main damage dealers. The thing is, once Kayle died, we saw Thresh and Malphite being focus targets, where it was Ezreal and Olaf that was killing everybody. So maybe identifying target 2, although it could also be that Thresh and Malphite were doing the tank's job, getting up in front, being the damage soak. Was also Well played by them.
It is really hard to ignore a Thresh in the middle of your team.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to walk up to you and flay you over a wall, and then all of a sudden, your team's positioning goes down the drain.
Put you in the box. You will stay in the box.
So now we have Kale sitting at 200, near 240 CS. So she's at that break point now where she has enough items that she'll be able to finish her entire build in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. She's got both of the parts for the Lich Bane, so that'll be her next pickup.
Honestly, it looks like they're going for Dragon, Baron here.
Baron.
Dragon's up in 5 seconds now.
There's
so
no
they're gonna
Resurrected,
take
though.
Dragon. Because they're gonna take because they're gonna take Dragon.
Resurrected's gonna take
Resurrected's gonna take Dragon because they know they can't contest the Baron, and that's that's a fair bet. You're not gonna give them both world objectives. You're gonna admit and take the honorable forfeit of Baron because you don't want to go die when they're obviously ahead of you team fight wise.
Well, you take the small loss, but you make it as small as possible.
Right, and they did that by at least catching up gold wise for Dragon. I mean, Dragon this late in the game offers quite a bit of gold. This fits the Dragon scaling implementations.
Now they are facing up against the Baron's team, so that is scary.
Especially, I mean, just the sieging capabilities of having increased health and mana regen is really what.
Ari's going in.
Oh, let's see if the damage is there for Resurrected.
Ooh,
they did clean up Olaf, but York escaping with a sliver of health. They're really trying to do a full retreat. That looks like, Draven gets picked off by Ezreal, chasing him down. They're pinging to rotate. Yorick goes in to try and prevent any further pushing, but ends up just tossing the kill into Kale's hands. She's just going to start bleeding this tower.
That might be game
good
right there.
charm from Ari, actually. CC's Kale, I don't think she's actually going to seal it, though. Oh, the heal. So much AP. The heal is popping Kale up for a third of her health every iteration.
Game. Our winners is the Broman Empire.
Broman Empire takes it. Well played. Definitely a lot to be said for Hyper Farm Gale.
There's
certainly